Trials versus Temptations 10, the final test. We're going to take a look at betrayal, as betrayal being an integral part of the final test here in the history of mankind. When we read in Revelation chapter 13 verse 16 to 17, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name." And here is put to us in a most distinct imagery of desperation, the state of things that will exist on planet Earth, that people will be made desperate because their finances, their money, their income will be directly affected. And when people are made desperate, they betray you, not only for selfish gain, but to curry favor with those who are in power and those who are in control. They will betray you. So the trials and the tests that you are experiencing right now, the betrayals of friends and families and loved ones and colleagues that you have been experiencing right now, have been calculated by God to strengthen your faith in Him, that your faith would not be in the company that you keep. Your faith would not be in the club that you belong to. Your faith would not be in a clique. Your faith would not be in a church. Your faith would not be in a job. Your faith would be in God. Your faith would be in Christ, because this is part of the final test. And perhaps God is preparing you to stand in that time. And Jesus Himself experienced betrayal, and betrayal can only come from those who are close to you, those whom you have trusted. And betrayal is an integral aspect of this final test, beloved, because when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, when money is touched, then everybody are up in arms. Everybody becomes serious. Everybody one becomes angry and desperate. And in Matthew chapter 26, we read that one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, from verse 14, went unto the chief priests and said unto them, "What will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you?" And they covenanted with him for 30 pieces of silver. And from that time he saw opportunity to betray him. And so Judas saw opportunity to betray Christ for money. And here you have a test at the end of the world, where high or low, rich or poor, free or bond, will not be able to conduct any business transaction. They will not be able to move money from one place to the other. Money will not be able to exchange hands unless you have the mark of the beast, beloved. And so this is an important test. And in order to stand in that time, you must have had the mental fortitude already developed for you to be able to stand. You must have had the connection with Christ already developed, the surety that God is on your side, the assurance that you are His child, to be able to stand. You cannot be guessing at your relationship with God at such a time as this. You must know that you are His and that He is yours. You must know that you are connected with Him. You must know that He loves you without a shadow of a doubt, because you will see that no one in the world loves you. You will see that you have no earthly support. All of your earthly support will be cut off. So you cannot be serving Christ today for loaves and fishes. You cannot be serving Christ today to receive the approbation of man. You cannot be serving Christ today simply for church association and to feel good that you are part of a wider body of believers. Your service to Christ, your relationship to Christ must be only based upon you and Him, must be only based upon His love, His character, His goodness. You must have a real relationship to Christ, because you are going to come through a time where all of the world will be marshaled against you, and you will have no earthly support, no means of income, no means of financial gain, and you will not be able to buy or sell. That means you will not be able to eat. And therefore, in this time, the only thing that you will be fed is manna from heaven, beloved. No one, you are going to be despised and hated in all of the earth, and everyone is going to betray your soul, betray your life for a piece of bread. Betrayal is it, beloved. Betrayal. And if you look at the final test as it relates to the experience of Jesus, you're going to recognize, as it was in his experience, so shall it be in yours. Whereas in Christ's experience, church and state, the Sanhedrin, the Jews came together with Pilate and Herod to crucify Jesus. That's a combination of church and state, and he was not delivered. He was not delivered from that experience, but God was with him in that experience, and God has to be with you in that experience as well. And so we see in Luke chapter 23 verse 13 to 21, and Pilate, when he had called together the chief priests and the rulers of the people, said unto them, Ye have brought this man unto me as one that perverteth the people. And behold, I, having examined him before you, have found no fault in this man touching those things whereof ye accuse him. No, nor yet Herod, for I sent you to him, and lo, nothing worthy of death is done unto him. I will therefore chastise him and release him, for of necessity he must release one unto them at the feast. And they cried out all at once, saying, Away with this man, and release unto us Barabbas, who for a certain sedition made in the city and for murder was cast into prison. Pilate, therefore, willing to release Jesus, spake again to them, but they cried, saying, Crucify him, crucify him. So Pilate betrayed Jesus. The state, the government betrayed Jesus. The church betrayed Jesus. What will you do when you are placed in the very same position? Because Jesus said the servant is no greater than his master. The disciple is not greater than his Lord. So we are going to pass through this final test, and in the book of Revelation, it is cited as being the mark of the beast. Unless, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, whether you are free, whether you are born, you are not going to be protected unless you go along with the agenda when church and state comes together to enforce religious beliefs, religious dogma, religious requirements, as happened to Jesus in his day. This is the final test, and in this test, beloved, you are going to experience betrayal. Jesus was in the world, according to John chapter 1 verse 10. The world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came to his own, and his own received him not. Not only did his own not receive him, his own rejected him. His own betrayed him into the hands of the state. And if we are his children, we are going to partake. We are going to be partakers of the very same experience. So in the very betrayals that you are experiencing in your life today, in the very betrayals that you are experiencing in your religious experience today, your personal experience today, you are being taught a lesson. Whether it is your family, whether it's your colleagues, whether it is your church members, they betray you. Think it not strange, beloved. These things are preparing you to be able to stand in the time where all of the world will be against you. So you cannot be connected to the umbilical cord of public opinion. You cannot be valuing the opinions of men above the opinion of God, because you are going to be dealing with betrayal, beloved. And this is why 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 19 to 23 gives us some context of the trials that we are experiencing right now, that it would develop within us the right character calculated that we can be able to stand in such a time. And it says, For this is thankworthy, if a man for conscience toward God endure grief, suffering wrongfully. It's thankworthy. Thank God, because this experience that you are going through right now, how troubling and distressing it is that you are experiencing grief. It is thankworthy. You may be suffering wrongfully. It is thankworthy. It develops within you a mental fortitude. And it says in verse 24, What glory is it if, when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently? There's no glory in being buffeted for your faults. You speak too quickly. You get angry too quickly. You say the wrong things and you're buffeted for them. There's no glory in that, because you did that which is wrong, and so therefore that is a recompense of it. Beloved, It continues to say, but if when ye do well and suffer for it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable to God. When we do well and we suffer for it, sometimes we get angry and we say we don't deserve it, but God is allowing us to pass through experiences when we did not do anything wrong, but yet still we suffer for it patiently. This is acceptable to God. When we turn the other cheek and we take it patiently, even though we don't need to take it, this is acceptable to God, because it is developing within you a mentality, a mindset that in patience you would possess your souls. For even hereunto were ye called, in verse 21, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps, who did no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth, who when he was reviled not again, when he suffered he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously. And it is Jesus's demeanor, it is Jesus's disposition in that period of trial, when he took it patiently and he answered them not a word, that they marvel that in such an experience as this man is still possessing his soul, this man is still maintaining his peace. This is why you are going through what you are going through today, because Christ is developing within you, beloved, his character, and this is how it is done. And he's passing you through practical experiences that you have. When you pass through an experience, it is not a knowledge, you have it, you own it, you know it by experiencing it. And he's passing you through experiences so that you, in your patience, can possess your soul, and it can develop within you the very character that Christ himself possess. So think it not strange, beloved, concerning this fiery trial, that you are in. Christ is developing his image within you, and he's strengthening you for a greater time, that you may be able to stand and that you will not fall. This is the Word of Life with Andre Knight.